Tonight, on these streets in the heart of Brooklyn, New York, the Bobov Hasidic community has come together in celebration.
Their spiritual leader, their Rebbe, has lived to see the wedding of his great-granddaughter. When Hasidic survivors arrived in this country after World War II, America opened its doors to them.
Like most immigrants before them, it was taken for granted they would soon lose their Eastern European ways.
However, Hasidim refused to follow this script.
I noticed that the women always wear wigs and they wear long dresses. I noticed that.
It seems that they do have close families. They're very family-oriented, it seems.
Then I'm always struck by how many children the women are having.
I'm not a chassid because I'm a woman, and I believe in egalitarianism.
They squeeze George Washington real tight. They really do. They good. I need somebody like that to save money for me.
They smell, they don't know how to dress, they all dress the same, they're ugly, they're mean, they push.
The kids do have respect in their own community, amongst their own people. When they go outside of that, they don't have respect. That's the way they are, with a goy, whatever they say.
Hasidim are a minority within a minority. They arouse controversy among other Jews, no less than among Gentiles. Who are the Hasidim? Why have they stubbornly refused to join America's mainstream?
Hasidim don't consider themselves American or Polish or anything else. They are living in America as they are living in Poland. They don't, for that matter, consider themselves Israelis. Their prime identity, to use Hasidic parlance, is avodas haboire, which means the worship of the Lord.
Hasidim reject many things Americans take for granted. Television, movies, sports, pop music. Men and women are separated by distinct roles in many aspects of daily life. They don't send their kids to public schools or universities. Instead, Hasidim teach their children to live according to the Torah, the teachings contained in the 5 books of Moses.
The Hasidim came to America primarily in the 50s, at a time when the common wisdom was that you pretty much lost your particularistic cultural attributes after a brief period in America, which is what had happened to other Jewish immigrations.
Rich or poor, old or young, the Jews came to this land for the same reasons as the Swedes, the Irishmen, and the Italians, to fulfill a simple human dream, to live in freedom, peace, and prosperity, to work and to rear their children. The Jew, too, has blended into the American landscape. He is part of the music, the catchwords of his country and his century.
Merry Christmas, Paul. Happy Hanukkah, Jerry.
And the Hasidim didn't do that. They maintained their old-style Eastern European approach. And the fascinating question is, why did they succeed? How did they succeed? And I think there are two factors here. One was the tremendous strength of the Hasidic leaders that came over at that time, who said, darn it, we are going to recreate our societies here in America. And we don't care how funny it looks or how bizarre or how many people laugh at us or how difficult it's going to be in any way. We are going to recreate it right here in America.
Sag mal, ich komme das erste Mal von Amerika. Ist gegangen auf der Gas, mit der Stramm und Kaffee, Freitag. Hat sich umgerufen dort ein Amerikaner hier, das ich kann verlangen, als die europäische Jiden kommen schon rüber, wir kommen Stramm und Kaffee, und mit 30 da rin, also das. Ich dachte, oi, hat Moira, der Rebbe mit Kalium nach Amerika. Der Rebbe hat noch nicht Kalium gemacht in Amerika, aber ich will es Kalium machen.
Once, the story goes, the Torah scroll wouldn't fit into its new cover. Someone suggested they cut the Torah down to size. Ridiculous? Of course. It's the cover that must be altered. The Rebbes said, we will not modify the Torah to fit America. We will tailor America to fit the Torah.
I teach in a modern Orthodox high school. The modern Orthodox are vastly different than the Hasidim in that they live culturally in America. And I think I would become disheartened if it wouldn't be for the tremendous sustenance that Hasidic books and Rebbes and stories and teachings gives me. I don't think I have the strength to confront the victims of shopping mall America.
Oh, way to go, Will. Way to go, way to go, way to go, way to go.
I was born into a fairly typical Brooklyn 1950s Jewish milieu, which was vaguely culturally Jewish, but not religious in any sense of the term. We were Democrats politically and rooted for the Brooklyn Dodgers and celebrated Hanukkah and Pesach, and that was the extent of our Jewishness.
Sam, why don't you put the Hanukkah candles in the menorah for tonight?
I was just going to do that.
Susan, would you please help me in the kitchen?
Okay, Mom.
During my childhood, meaning haunted me. That there is something more to life than just a bourgeois pursuit of security. And finally, when my parents moved from Queens to Rockland County, and we lived in very close proximity to the Orthodox community of Muncie.
He walked over to New Square one day when he was 12 years old. It was before his bar mitzvah. He went with two friends of his. They walked into New Square.
We came back to public school the next day, and the whole class knew of our trip. And they're all crowding around. They're saying, what happened? What happened in New Square? What went on there in New Square? And my friend Paul was relating the story. And he got to that point where he says, the door opened and the Rebbe came out. And one of the girls yells out, she says, well, what did he look like? What did he look like? And Paul just paused and he said, he looked like Moses coming down from the mountain.
He explained to me exactly how he felt and how he wanted to live his life. And when I realized that this was what he wanted, I accepted it. I, however, did tell him that if this is the way you choose to live your life, please don't try to influence Jay, who is my youngest son.
The previous Skvera Rebbe left a profound impression upon me. He was this saint who, when he would pray or study or whatever, you got a sense that he was elsewhere. And yet he could turn around the next minute and speak to somebody whose business had failed or whose wife couldn't conceive or any number of problems, and was willing to bring himself down to the lowest of levels to communicate with any human being. So that, to me, was basically what I had been looking for.
Well, good health.
Skver, Bobob,